Welcome, ladies, to another episode of Bench Talk. Inspiring stories of resilient international women who overcome some difficulties in their lives. I'm Vera Swag, holistic transformational coach, energy healer, and spiritual guide. And I have created this wonderful community of global women and founded More Life Makeover Club. In each episode, my guests and I are exploring a topic, a period of their life where they faced significant difficulties. We explore the mind shifts they had to make or the steps they had to do in order to go through it. And my vision is to provide you with inspiration, empowerment, and reassurance that whatever you are going through, you are able to make it and get through it and come out of it wiser, stronger, and more experienced. And now it is my great honor to welcome our new guest, Kristin Morell. Dear Kristin, thank you very much that you are here.
Well, dear Vera, I thank you very much for having me. I'm honored. I'm flattered in a way. Thanks a lot.
Oh my, Kristin is a woman that is a huge inspiration for me. She is our wonderful neighbor in Berlin, and Kristin is a lifelong accompanying spouse of a German diplomat, Reiner Morell. Kristin is mom of twins, one boy and girl. They are at my age.
Yes, they are indeed.
And just to mention a few of the countries that they as a family have been moving around. It's Togo, Greece, New York, Jordan, Kazakhstan, Turkmenistan, or Armenia, to name a few.
My gosh.
It has been an incredible journey. But before I pass my word to Kristin, I would like to mention a thing that I have found on Wikipedia.
Oh,
that's a surprise for you.
Yes,
when I was Googling Kristin or her husband, Reiner Morell, I have found a huge description of all the achievements of her husband, all the countries, all the good things that he has done for a German country. At the end of the descriptions, there was written, Reiner Morell ist verheiratet und Vater von 2 Kindern.
Yes.
To translate, Reiner Morell is married and is a father of 2 children. And I remember this sentence struck me a lot, like, oh my God, there's one huge life of an extraordinarily strong and resilient woman behind that small sentence. There's a life of 3 people, and Wikipedia just put it like, just like that. And this is the theme that we will be exploring with Kristin, the topic of self-worth, the topic of a lifelong experience of a wife that at some of the diplomatic sessions she was called just Mrs. Reiner Morell, not even being called by her first name. Dear Kristin, what a life journey.
Indeed.
How does it make you feel when you hear this incredible summary of these big, steps in your life?
That's a very good question, Vera. In fact, it feels like, oh, does that have anything to do with me? Indeed, yes, it does. Because the countries sound familiar. The name Reiner Morell is very familiar to me. Apparently, it's me then. Meaning, sometimes the things that I have done and seen are like looking into an interesting book with many, many different pictures. And on the other side, maybe at the same moment, I realize, I feel in myself, yeah, I have done this and it has done something with me. It has changed me, or it has formed me in a way.
When we were preparing for this interview, I had the honor to read many things about you from your own perspective. Thank you for all the things that you shared with me. And you could have written a book about it. I would love to read it. What I admired a lot, that when you were sharing some difficulties, you were also sharing the good things that happened. And this is really the mindset foundational stone that I would like to express, that what it seems to me that you have learned to look at the life or the situations from both sides. Is this something that helped you to survive and go through it, to be able to find positive things in the life challenges?
Yes, I would say that was one of the most important tools. It took me years to get to that point, of course. Most important tools I developed because, given the fact that the job my husband chose long before I met him, he was determined to become a diplomat, so I had to agree, or we would have finished our ongoing story. So I was thrown into this, oh my gosh, we're going where exactly? So in the beginning, of course, that was hard because I was very young. I had 2 young kids. I was totally thrown over by daily life. Unfortunately, this process of looking at the other side started pretty early in life. I developed this ability or this technique. To give an example, these constant movings gave me the opportunity to get rid of things that pile up in your house in no time. Within a year, 2 years, 3 years, you have so many things that you don't need. You just keep them. You just don't use them, but you keep them. So I found out, good, that's great. I can get rid of things I don't need, I don't want. This is just an example for one technique I developed over the years. Another thing is that you either go nuts or become very flexible. Another, for me, very, very, very important thing was I can't take myself so seriously, meaning I'm not the only one to cope with this, to deal with that. There are many, many, many of us, let's say, accompanying wives, Mrs. Franz Müller, Mrs. John Smith, because this, I remember you were really shocked when I met you. Were shocked to the core. This way of addressing the wives or the partners is an international thing to do, and it's a very old-fashioned thing to do. That brings me to the fact that the job, the non-paid job that I did for many years, is a very conservative way of living. You, how to put this? You just support your husband. You accept the rules. I'm talking old school. I'm talking my generation. I'm out of the business, I don't know, forever now. In my times, the rules were clearly set, not only for the German diplomatic service, but for all the others just as well. And you deal with it. You just do it. In my generation, things have changed, I guess, fortunately, by now. So, yes, difficult, sometimes tremendously rewarding, sometimes all in all, I would do it again.
That's nice. Yeah. Thank you for sharing. That's amazing ability, as you nicely put it, to find the good things or the pleasures into difficult situations. You are an elegant woman, and I sense this, but not to mean it in a bad way, this old-fashioned set of rules or the way of living.
Yeah.
To many modern women, it might seem unacceptable or really old-fashioned, but in a way, I find peace in it.
Yeah.
Because certain things were said, and it didn't put so much pressure on women. Nowadays, we are free, we can do basically anything, but it's so easy to get lost in it.
Exactly.
We can do everything, and then we are like, oh my God, but what I would like to do, and we are set free, and the expectation is that, you will do it, right? That just deal with it. So everything has pros and cons, and I believe that we can really get inspired by the old-fashioned ways, and vice versa. Yeah.
Yeah. I couldn't agree more to what you say, honestly. In my understanding, rules, do's and don'ts, are a nuisance. Of course, we all agree on that. It's a nuisance. Sometimes it's limiting yourself, and then again, it's helpful. It's helpful. It's like, when you are driving on the Autobahn, let's say, you have these, I don't know the English word, these...
The lanes?
Yes, no, not the lanes, but what on the border of the Autobahn, it keeps you safe as long as you do not try to break through these rails, or what the name is. Do's and don'ts, rules can guide me. It's up to me on a daily basis to find out, is this rule applicable for me, or is it just limiting me? Which is a kind of weird dance on a daily basis, I would say. And then this weird dancing helps me defining myself every day a little more by finding out I follow this, as you were saying, because it's helpful for me. It gives me at least a guiding line, or do I ignore it because I just don't feel like following it?
Yeah.
So interesting, and in my understanding, the newer you are in a life situation, whatever kind it is, the stronger you may, if what I said fits into your own mindset, the stronger you, or the tighter you follow the rules, because you need this support in the beginning. And the older you get, the more experience you gather, the freer you move based on these accepted guidelines. And that brings me to the fact that for me, it's wonderful to get older, because you get more experience, you get more inner liberty, and you only look every once in a while, oh my, where was the guideline? I forgot it. A good thing.
Thank you for mentioning this, that you can evolve on the life journey.
Yeah.
And thank you also for opening up the perspective of going alone, moving on in life can be a really amazing experience if you do it mindfully, if you look back, or you do regular check-in with yourself or with your husband, that growing older may be amazing.
Oh yeah, it is.
And one of the things that you have written to me was that you want to show us, all that a life after 60 or 65 can be amazing.
Yes.
And that is what
Yes.
I love about you. Like, oh my God, like sometimes when we are in the, hustle and bustle of everydayness, with the kids and with our job, full-time jobs, we hardly ever do the zoom out, the pause. I do it and I guide my clients to do so, but most of the people, so we don't see the end or the, like what's next. But this, what we are experiencing, is just a period of life.
Yeah.
Just one, let's say 10 years that is very difficult and very busy. So when I see you or ladies of your generation, I'm like, yes, like this is also why I'm doing it, that I want to enjoy later. And thank you for opening that up. You live a very nice life.
Yes, indeed.
Now,
yes, I do.
Do you want to share a bit more about it? Like, so how is it after 60? How can it be? Yeah?
As I say, it's just worth being lived. It's worth being experienced. I think it's very important at any time, any point in time in your life to have like role models. To just, as you were saying, have a, oh yeah, it can go this way. Do I like this? Do I kind of like it? Or is this the example for, oh, never ever am I going to be like that? So I was lucky enough, due to the fact that we were moving around and in the expat groups and among the colleagues, I mean the wives, I had role models, and it attracted me, or it fascinated me early on that these role model ladies were elderly. Some of them could be my mother, age-wise, and I sensed this, how should I put that? Being at home with myself, being in sync with myself, and this is one of the most precious experiences that I live now. I'm over 70. I don't have, as far as I know, health concerns, which I'm tremendously grateful for. I have a wonderful husband. We've been living together for ages, for generations. We can enjoy this totally different life together. We didn't have a life together, so to speak, as it happened to many people in this generation, because in the old school system, male partner was the one in the Foreign Office, and the wife was the Mrs. Hans Müller. They had their very demanding and very intense life, and we, the wives, had to deal with all the rest of it, and of course, on point, be prepared, be made up, be ready to sing, to laugh, to eat, to sit, to stand, and to listen for Germany, which has a lot of good sides, but it kept you busy, besides all the rest of what you had to do. Now we have this life together. We can find out completely new facets in the partner. You find out suddenly after years that, I don't know, I can't give you an example right now, but he loves this. I never knew it because he never had time to tell me, or he maybe didn't even have time to find out for himself. That is one thing, but the most important thing in my understanding is that I have time for myself, and just for myself. I don't have to be careful what I say, what I tell whom. Because I feel like saying something against that thing or that person. I couldn't afford it like anybody can in this job, because it fires back on you in no time. So I can say what I want if I feel I need it. I can sit back and be nice to myself. And this is the greatest luxury in my life right now. I can treat myself nicely, and I don't mean spend money on don't know, things like cosmetic surgery. No, just be gentle with myself and reflect things I see, things I hear, things I read on my personal background in a nice way. That wasn't so while I was in your life, let's say, period. I had to function like anybody else. You don't have enough time to yourself now between your job, your kids, your husband, the daily chores. And this is what takes more and more place in my life. To reflect my own life on a very positive canvas. Very satisfactory indeed.
Oh my God. I'm looking forward to it.
Yes.
Not that I'm not enjoying this period.
No, I get you.
But it helped me tremendously to shift the perspective that I look at my life now. That's why women like you are so inspiring for us, yeah? Like to open the possibility of different look at our life, that it's just a period, and we could have possibly later on more time, yeah? That kids eventually grow up.
They do, yes, they do.
We will be hopefully able to work a bit less or don't work at all. So that's very nice, yeah. Thank you for telling that, yeah. I would like to inspire you ladies, if you are in your busy period of life, to also maybe slow down.
I think that's very difficult in your life now. And I think it's all the more difficult because especially we women internationally tend to be very, very strict with one another. Why is she wearing that color? For heaven's sake, how could she wear this?
Because we are strict with ourselves.
Yes.
You know?
Yes, exactly.
It's the same principle.
It's exactly, yeah? This is really, you hit the nail on the head. We have what I call the internal judge.
Yeah.
And the internal judge is cruel.
Yeah.
Non-forgiving. And impatient, all these things. And as you rightfully say, you treat your peer group member the exact same way. This wears us out. It's so demanding. You have your daily chores, your daily race, and then you enter the peer group. I remember a friend of mine living in Latin America. And I mean, she's not only a wonderful friend of mine, she's a colleague's wife. She lived in Latin America and told me every once in a while, it's this years ago, of course, it's this obsession with plastic surgery. I am constantly being asked or being suggested, you should have your eyes done. You should have this done, you should have that done. And this is so excruciating to always come up with a kind of shield. Oh, please. I may not have the nicest eyes in this world, but I can see through them. This is their purpose. I don't feel like having plastic surgery on my eyes. You have to build up this wall demanding. Why?
Yeah. Yeah. You wrote to me one wonderful thing that is connected to this toughness, maybe, this inner judge. That why do we have to come out of a challenge, rough patch, being better or stronger than before? It is very acceptable to sometimes just come out of something, to overcome something and put it behind ourselves. That just sometimes just be, just go through it, just like that, let it pass, not constantly fighting to be better, stronger, faster. That was very nice to read, and I felt in myself like, oh my God, yes, we need to be reminded of this so we can be more kinder with ourselves. Yeah.
It's intertwining, I would say, and come to think of it, that might be a task for my generation towards your generation. Just every once in a while whispering from the background, why do you have to get out of this stronger and better? Just get through it. Just put it behind you. Just be grateful it's over. And not everything needs a reaction. Just wait until it's over. And one thought, while putting this little summary together for you, one thought started grabbing me more and more, and that is, we should relearn, not only your generation but mine just as well, we should relearn to have trust in it's gonna be fine. It's just gonna be fine. I am not starting to worry what happens if I do this now or if I don't do this now. What will be the consequences, mainly with kids, within the next 10 years? Just trust in God or in the universe or in the blue pumpkin, whatever whatever takes you through the night, just trust in the fact that it's going to be fine in a way. We are not the directors of our lives to 100%. Of course, we make our choices. We make essential, crucial, right or wrong choices, but this is not all. There is something else going on that pushes us, sometimes roughly, sometimes just guides us smoothly in another direction, and it's going to be fine anyways. And at the end of it, we will be stronger and we will be better, but not by doing something, changing something, just by living through the years, living through the happy times and living through the not so very happy times.
Very nice.
It's putting the stamp on us. We have a very nice, no, it's not very nice, it's horrible. But in fact, I don't know if this is if this is known nowadays, but during my life I heard it every once in a while, ab 60 hast du das Gesicht, das du verdienst. Meaning, older than 60 you start having the face that you deserve. There is so much wisdom in that, in my understanding. That might be a superficial remark, because it's a face, you have the face you have, and that's it. But it says a lot more in my understanding, because your face reflects what happens inside. And you can tell from a certain age on. Find it fascinating. Not nice, not beautiful, but fascinating.
Right. About that pressure, the constant pressure, I would like to share a current story from our life. Sometimes I share with my husband what's worrying me, and in the recent weeks, lots of pressure piled up. and we were talking. He was sitting on this very sofa, and I was, going on and on, like, I don't know this, and I need help with this. I was overwhelmed, yeah? And he was listening to me. He's a very, wise and very, a delicate person. He's the reason. He's the stability in our family.
Wonderful.
And he looked at me. I was like, I asked him, tell me really, what do you really feel? What do you really think about it? I was like, well, I really feel that nobody is giving the pressure on you. Nobody. Not the businesses, not me, not the kids. We're fine, we're healthy, kids are fine. If we buy the house or not, we will make it or not. Or, the only one who is putting the pressure is, on you, is you.
Your internal judge.
Exactly.
The one with the sword in her hands.
And me being a coach, helping other women with this, of course, certain things you don't see with yourself. It was a shock for, of course, I started to cry so much, but it was so nice and so important to hear, that it's you who is doing that, You are harsh on yourself in the life. And I would love to pass this message on you, ladies, relax, take it easier, release the pressure, the inner pressure. And nowadays the pressure is tremendous.
It's beyond.
It's huge.
It's beyond possible. Yeah. And it really saddens me to hear that this horrid creature in us, wherever she sits, I don't care, is still, it goes on and on and on. Yeah. We try our best to, in this case, my generation tried so hard to help our daughters, your age, to ignoring this judge. Now I hear from you, I know from my daughter, and from 3 or 4 women outside just as well, that this internal judge keeps working. It's not the fact that she keeps working. No, it's the fact that we tried in vain. We tried in vain, and I'm afraid you young, wonderful mothers, you will come to that point just as well one day. I hope to God it's not happening, but apparently this is a woman thing. It is a woman thing, I guess. Mm-hmm.
It's like the learned behavior that we need certain results. Yeah, that the results, we are judged by the results, by the achievements. And now we are getting back to your story. You nicely put it that you had a non-paid job.
Yeah.
During this diplomatic career, supporting and following your husband. But it was a job.
Yeah.
It was a role. It has certain commitments, not certain, many, many commitments, many do's and don'ts, and yet you were not paid to do so. What helped you to find this deep self-worth that I'm feeling from you? That even if there was no, financials for that, still you were allowing your husband to do the job. That you, even if you were Mrs. John Smith, Reiner Morell, you still were able to feel like I'm the, woman, I'm the proper person, I'm the wife, I'm the mother, I'm Kristin. What helped you to balance this, non-paid job with this self-worth? No, it's not about the money. It's not just about the achievement.
Good question. I have to add that I don't remember in the 90s, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs came up with the idea that we would be compensated, we married partners would be compensated, would be enabled to get insurances for our old age. So we got money according to the only when we were living abroad, all of us, of course. According to the income of the husband, we received a certain percentage to cover insurance fees, so that in the case of a divorce, we have a tremendous divorce rate. We have a shameful divorce rate. I understand it, but it doesn't lead anywhere to elaborate that now. So the chance of being a divorced elderly lady in my old school system, last generation, many elderly ladies being there left alone, husband having found another one. So in a way, from the 90s on, we got at least the insurance fees partly covered. So I wrote that I had an unpaid job, right, but I had a tremendously rewarding job. A tremendously rewarding job because I lived in many countries with different languages, which I could learn. Well, except for Arabic, that didn't work. I just didn't, I couldn't get an approach to Arabic. My kids could in no time, in weeks, which sent me around the bend, but hey, I could learn languages. This is something which I loved doing. I lived in wonderful houses. I had help, at least partly. I met so many unforgettable people, known people and unknown people. That is so big a reward. I used to call it my pearls. Funny enough, I'm wearing this thing, this thing with the wooden pearls. This is a coincidence, but I could put so many pearls on the how to put it, on the necklace of my life. Amazing people, unforgettable evenings, hilarious moments, dreadfully horrible moments. One guest just broke down on a chair sitting at my dining table because the chair, broke down, and he broke down with the chair. I couldn't even start mentioning them. So this, in my world, was a tremendous reward and privilege. And I have to say, being this Mrs. Reiner Morell, being the wife of the of the German embassy, enabled me to help. All over the world, I could help just because I can go and see a person. Either he or she knows me already, or it's enough to say, hi, I'm Kristin Morell in that case. I'm the wife of the German. I have a question. I don't know whether you heard about what we are doing. Would you mind joining us or contributing some? You just drop your name and people are, let's say, normally willing to help you. You just can push many things. Isn't that the best thing? If you, just because you are there and you have a telephone or a mouth to speak, you can do something to help other people. So.
That's wonderful. Yeah, you are opening up the spectrum of the different ways of like a realization for a woman. Yeah, that is not just the work or the money she earns, but it's like the broader spectrum of possibilities, fulfilling, tasks to do. It's wonderful.
Which is the good side in this way of living. You have to come up with rewards for yourself. You have to pluck them here and there, or you go nuts. This is in a way a pressure, but in my understanding a very positive pressure. Find things that reward you for the madness you are living. on a daily basis.
Yeah, which will be meaningful for you, for your own pleasure, well-being.
Yeah.
Plus, you are a mother of 2 kids.
Yes.
You have managed to raise kids in, I don't know how many, 12 countries?
Not that many, but yeah, well.
You know,
some.
that must have been so hard, in every country to start a new life, not just for you or your husband, but also for the kids.
Yes.
Get to the network, school system. You were, I believe, the primary caregiver. Yeah, it was up to you.
The home teacher.
And a home. It's it's incredible. Yeah. So also inspiration for you women to appreciate yourself for the everyday task that you are doing. Apart from the work, it's already a work. You seem like to have different jobs. Yeah.
Yeah. But this. I mean, it's excruciating. It wears you out, but it prevents you from starting to think stupid things.
Yeah. And we need to see it, we need to really allow ourselves to see it, how well we are doing, even if it's a day that we just survive,
Get through it, put it behind. This too shall pass. Yeah, another.
Yeah. Kristin, we could go on and on. Yeah. It's amazing. I love your life lessons, your wise words. What I would like to sum up with your message to women, what would you like to leave them? Maybe some advice or some wise words to the younger generations. When we talk, I'll just open this topic for you. When you were sharing this with me, you talked about forgiveness, forgive yourself, be kind to yourself, self-acceptance. Would you like to explore that or give some last message for us all?
Oh my God, I'm certainly not the one to give advice to other people. I just can share or repeat what is crucial to me. Concerning you, extremely active, wonderful young women, build up the courage every once in a while to sit back and just listen to yourself. Don't be efficient. Don't be permanently available. It's a matter of courage, I know, and I choose this word very, I want to stress out that it doesn't just come flying through your window. It doesn't. It requires courage. Build up that courage to be inefficient, to just be nice to yourself, and to be, you were saying it, to be forgiving towards yourself. You are amazing. You're one of a kind. And you do whatever you can for the others. And I really want you to do something for yourself. And just don't listen to the voices from here and there, from how-to videos, from all the books, meters and meters in the bookshelves of library. How to do this, how to get better at that. Don't. Sit back, have a chocolate, or, I don't know,
whiskey.
Whiskey. Exactly. Do something nice for yourself, and I want to add something which, in my understanding and in my daily experience, these days is more important than ever now. We are facing so many, so crucial, so frightful things happening outside of our home. We can't change them. Wars are going on. No, I'm not going to elaborate on that one. Just in general, the outside world is so threatening and challenging, let's all join forces to create safe havens within our houses, within our homes, starting with ourselves. Be your own safe haven, at least 15 minutes per day. That should do, for starters.
Wow, moved me, thank you. Well, thank you very much for sharing your time, energy, and your life lessons with us.
Thank you, dear.
It was amazing. Also, thank you for inspiration for us all.
Oh my, that's a load on my shoulders. Oh.
And as we wrap up today's episode of Bench Talks, I would like to express gratitude for you, viewers and listeners, for tuning in. Take what you have learned here today and apply it in your life. That's the most important thing. Or don't apply, just don't do anything. That was also the message of today. Just be. Follow us on Instagram or Facebook, global.women.community. You can hit subscribe button so you don't miss any other episodes of Bench Talks. And I would like to tell you, keep on shining, keep on thriving, keep on being. And let's inspire each other, let's empower ourselves in order to create a brighter future for us, for our kids, and for the generations to come. Thank you very much for tuning in, and see you at another episode of Bench Talks.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, bye-bye.
Thank you, dear.